Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Edith and I like to read books and yap about them to you guys. And today it's time for another little preparation video in case you are new here. Every single new season, mostly, I like to do a little preparation video. Normally they entail stuff like TBRs, bucket lists, making journal spreads, decorating, all of that sort of stuff. So this is the first time doing this for summer. I did do a TBR last summer, but I didn't do, actually I think I did a spring and summer combined this year. If you go back, you can see I did an entire spring themed video. And today's kind of gonna be like that, minus decorating. I'm not a big summer fan. There, I said it. I put it out into the universe. You're gonna be able to tell from the TBR, all of that sort of stuff. Me and summer, not best friends by any means necessary, okay? I am a fall girl. I do love spring. I love early spring, but it's summer soon. I know this is like a discussion and I feel like I have to say it every single time I film one of these. The way I look at seasons is they are 3 months each, starting from the 1st of every month. I didn't learn until last year that apparently it's technically from the 20th to the 20th. Absolutely not. Nope, no way. In my brain, and this is how it will always be, summer is from the 1st of June, July, August. And when I say it's almost summer, I mean it's 3 days away from being June. So that's your little disclaimer. If you guys are the type to be like, correction, it's actually not summer, watch the video and you will have seen me just tell you guys, in my brain, it's summer and I don't care if it's not actually summer. The first thing we're gonna do in today's video is talk about my summer TBR, which is kind of a mix, honestly. There are a few summery reads in here. There are also some summer-ween reads in here, which is a little hint to my next reading vlog. And there is also some fantasy for no reason at all. I have my computer because I have the TBR written down. We have a few books on my Kindle as well. So I just think we're just gonna go through the physical books first. And then we can talk about the quick Kindle books afterwards. First of all, actual summary summer books. One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I read my first Carly Fortune this month in May and I absolutely loved it, and my mom got me this along with it. It is a perfectly floppy paperback and I love her covers, and obviously Golden Summer. I know her books are always very summery and they always take place on the islands in Canada, so it's gonna be beautiful nature. I love her descriptions of nature. I can say that from just having read one book by her. So I'm very excited about this. Now to a book that is opposite of that, not new to my TBR at all. It was actually on my spring and summer TBR last year. I didn't read it. It is also on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm begging myself this year to at least give it a try on Kindle Unlimited. And it is in fact The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I love this woman. And I have no idea why I haven't read this yet. Do not come for me. And I keep pushing it. And it's not fair to this book. In this book, we follow Theo and Kit, who were childhood best friends, crushes, lovers, and then they broke up 4 years ago. And now they have somehow ended up on the same like food and wine tour of Europe. And they make a bet to see who can sleep with their hot Italian tour guide first. So then they start some kind of competition, I think who can hook up with the most people or something, the hottest people. And it's obviously a love story between the two of them. Another summery read that is fairly new to my TBR is Soulless House by Will McLean. And I recently bought this and I don't really know a lot about it. The cover is just really giving me summer vibes. I'm pretty sure it says somewhere. I don't know, I read somewhere that it was a perfect like gothic summer read. Basically, I don't really want to know too much about it. I read the back once and thought it was interesting. It's some kids who have to clean out this house, and then they find notes from the guy that used to live there about something really weird and kind of sinister, and then they start acting a little bit weird and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be like a dark academia gothic, but with summer vibes sort of thing. And I just really, really love this cover. So I'm very excited about it. So now for the Summerween physical books on the TBR, we have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, mostly because it's short. And I know this would probably be something people would want to wait with until autumn, but I do have 2 other classics that I might push until autumn. And so I was looking at them and I was like, best place to start must be the shortest one of the 2 scary classics I have. And that's my only excuse. And then we have The Institute by Stephen King, because I really, really want to watch the show movie. I think it's a show that is based on this book, and I want to get more into Stephen King. So far, I have read, in Danish, I've read a few of the, like, old classics, Carrie and the Animal Cemetery thing, and then I read Billy Summers last summer, maybe. So, my 3rd, maybe 4th Stephen King book, because I feel like I'm forgetting one. And I'm very excited about this. It's like a long line of kids with exceptional gifts are taken to a secret government facility. And here they do a lot of experiments on them, and then they feel like they can't escape until he teams up with an even younger boy. And then at the same time, we follow a small town cop who is looking for like the quiet life, but then ends up being assigned to this case with all the missing kids, I'm guessing, I think. Sounds interesting, and I do like Stephen King's writing. Lastly, of the physical books, we have the 2 next books in the Throne of Glass series, which for me is Crown of Midnight and Air of Fire. I was at first gonna be like, I need to read at least 1 book a month of this series, and then May, I didn't read a single one, okay? I wasn't in a fantasy mood, but I know at some point during the summer, I'm gonna be in a fantasy mood, and as soon as that happens, this is the book I'm picking up. And if I know Sarah J. Maas well enough, I'm gonna wanna go straight into Air of Fire afterwards. I might even need to finish the entire series, but I thought that was a little bit dramatic to put all of them on the TBR, so we're just sticking to the next 2 books. But I did really enjoy the first 2 books, and I am aware that it's probably only going to get better, and I am a little bit scared, but also very, very excited. And then for the Kindle reads, we have one Summerween book, which is Clown in a Cornfield, which I'm actually planning on reading pretty soon in a video that will be up once that is done, but after this video, which is, I think, again, like a small town, and the high school mascot is a clown, but then all of a sudden there's actual killer clowns happening, which is also a movie that I'm hoping to watch and like give my thoughts on in that same video. And then we have Play Along by Liz Tumforty, because I just last month caught up the book before this in the Windy City series, and I am not going to keep pushing this series because I love every single one of the books I've read, except for the first one, which I DNF'd, but I love the last 2, and I think I'm going to love Play Along. And then, finally, the last one, we have Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan, which was also on my summer TBR last year. Didn't read it, but I have owned it on my Kindle since then. So I do have to give that a try. I know a lot of people love Annabelle Monaghan, and I also know a lot of people don't think this is her best book, but I think it was on sale last summer, which was why I bought it last summer, and now I'm like, I need to read it. So that is like the TBR. Next up we have the TBR spreads, journal spreads, my bucket list, all of that sort of stuff. Without further ado, let's get into the spreads. I'm back. It is the next day. I'm looking a little bit rough. And the minute this clip is done, I am taking this out and I'm just gonna have my greasy ass hair out for the rest of this video. It is time for what would normally be decorating, but because it's summer, I don't actually have any decorations specifically for summer. I don't. I have like all year around stuff that I sometimes remove around fall time to make room for all my fall stuff and then my Christmas stuff. And then after Christmas, I put up the other stuff back up again. So we actually aren't gonna decorate because like the only summer things I would do is kind of the things I did with springtime, which if you guys didn't see that video, go watch it. But we hung up this painting, which obviously I'm not going to like take down for the fall time or anything. We hung this up, we changed out some of the pillows, made that plant and hung it up there too. So it's like all of those are kind of already summery things that we'll just be keeping up. I don't know why I'm holding my Kindle. It's just stuff we'll be holding up. But I thought instead of decorating, because like I just said, we won't be doing that, and this video would be super short, I think, if we didn't do something else. So instead, because I need it and because I thought it would be interesting to watch, we're going to do a little bit of a reset. And yes, we're going to do it on a Thursday afternoon. Because why not? Okay? So, on the list of stuff we need to get done for the last part of this video is clean the kitchen. We need to empty the dishwasher, put stuff in the dishwasher, do the dishes, wipe off the table, and vacuum the kitchen. We need to vacuum the bathroom. My mom just cleaned it earlier today, so we need to vacuum that. And then for my room, we need to change the bedding, we need to dust some stuff off, we need to vacuum, and most importantly, I want to reorganize my bookshelves. I'm just going to like quickly hold you guys here while I tell you guys this. I want to move Binding or the Boys of Tommen series over here. I want to move my little romance shelf there over here. And then these two are going to go over there. And then I think I want to move this entire shelf like gone somewhere else, and then move my thrillers up here maybe by my like Goosebumps books, not on the same shelf but on this shelf above here, because that way it's like a mix of all the colorful romance summery books and my Summerween thriller scary books sort of thing. So without further ado, let's put on some music, go out into the kitchen, and start this deep clean or reset, whatever you want to call it. We obviously need some caffeine in our body for this, even though it is the afternoon, and I finally got myself a real matcha, so let's make one. that was a way longer project than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know why, because like it always takes a while, and it's always the minute all the books are off, I'm like regretting my decision. So all I technically have left of the cleaning is to vacuum my room and the kitchen and the bathroom and change my bedding, and then probably take a shower. And you guys don't actually need to see all that. I feel like I've included me making my bed in so many videos, and I'm not gonna do anything differently just because it's summer, you know? And vacuuming, that's just boring. So let's do a little updated bookshelf tour. Top of it hasn't changed a lot. The only thing that has changed at the top is I moved the flower a little bit this way so I could have my DVD collection here. And that way, once that expands, we'll just move it further this way. That's all that's different on top. First, we have this shelf, which used to be over here, which is my Boys of Tommen shelf. The only thing we've actually really changed is I moved the books from being like a stack to the way they are now. So, in order, and then we have all of my Harry Potter Lego and a Taylor Swift CD. Because I am nothing if not a fangirl, okay? And then below that, we have my LGBTQ shelf. And actually, I realized I put Heated Rivalry on like a normal on like a straight romance shelf. And I was like putting them where they needed to be. And I was like, wait, this needs to be with its like-minded books. So, my LGBTQ books, these three things I always keep together because they're all gifts from my little brother. And then, obviously, the rainbow flower holder, because pride. Below that, we have a romance shelf. This is specifically for series. So we have the Icebreaker series, The Summer I Turned Pretty, When in Rome, and then all of my Elsie Silver, which is Chestnut Springs, and whatever the Wild Eyes series is. That's what I have there. Middle shelf. This one again. Yeah. There's a reason why there's no glass on this because it did in fact fell once and broke. But we have my Emily Henry and Taylor Jenkins Reid shelf. And again, this is exactly the same. We have Emily Henry and then a stack of Taylor Jenkins Reid. This, which is 2 postcards inside of this frame, and then this Lego flower. Below that, we have my other romance shelf, which is supposed to be like a standalone shelf. I know there are a few series on here. Some of them, I don't have all the books in the series, all of that sort of stuff. But like, these are just like the basic romances. And then my Buffy Funko Pop and a little horseshoe. And yeah, you can see below that. Below that, we have another romance shelf. This is more like an OG Book Talk romance shelf. We have my Allie Hazelwood, my Anna Wong, and Lauren Asher. And then over here, we have the fantasy shelf. We have a dark fantasy shelf and a colorful fantasy shelf. And there are some stuff that are going to have to be moved around eventually. No idea how I'm going to do that. We'll have to figure it out, you know? Dark fantasy, we have my Le Bardugo, we have Fourth Wing, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, Lightlark, my special edition of Twilight, which is probably my most prized possession. One day I'm going to have to actually read it. Not that I haven't read Twilight, but I haven't read this edition of it. And then I have one special edition book that I've actually DNF'd, but kept it because it has dragons on the side. And then the Ministry of Time, Project Hail Mary, which those are the two that I'm most inclined to like move somewhere else. Just don't know where. Sarah J. Maas and The Hunger Games. Those are the colorful fantasy books. And then general fiction is down here with my little trusty cat holder. And I don't actually know if there's that much more to say about this shelf. This is basically just everything else. So, down below, here we have Goosebumps, which is so far only 3 books because I have 3 more on my TBR I haven't read. This little lunchbox, which was like a retro special editions thing. My favorite like decoration honestly is this The Exorcist like movie plate that my friend got me on a vacation. And then I put this plant here that actually used to be on top. And then below that, my nonfiction slash classic slash whatever didn't fit anywhere else. And then my thriller section. Below that, we are now getting to like the boring shelves, which is like the Danish shelves. Here we have the ones I was like, I actually kind of want to display these a little bit more. So, Valhalla, the saga, a special edition Patrick Ness book that I haven't read yet. These that I'm gonna sit down for this. I couldn't actually translate to you guys what these titles are, but they are very famous children's books. And then Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, part 1 and 2, I actually also have, but in Danish. My little creative shelf, if you don't know, this entire thing is filled up with like paint stuff, coloring books, all of that sort of stuff, and then markers. And then below that we have all of the Danish books that I did not care about putting on display, but I also don't want to get rid of them, along with my 3 physical Christmas books, which I also kind of want to expand on that. If there's something I want to expand on, it is Christmas books and it is horror books. Not important. And then I have some like photo albums, other like weird Danish books, childhood books. That is all for today's video. I hope it wasn't too short. In case you can't tell, summer, not really my time of year. So like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do to like prep for summer. But this was a much needed refresh. I feel like I needed something new to happen in my life, and reorganizing the bookshelves was always a great way to do that. We also did do the TBR officially, and soon I can actually start reading said TBR. I'm currently filming another video that I'm very excited about, so thanks so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a like, comment, subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications so you get notified every single time I post a new video, because you will not want to miss out on it. And without further ado, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.